cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers. Happy Tuesday evening to all of you. 5:35 p.m. here at the Diplomat Beach Resort with my guys Donnie RightSide and Drew Martin. Whale Capper will be joining us in about 10 minutes. So there'll be four of us in about 10 minutes. I'm so excited to be doing this late show with you guys live, man. It is so much fun. Donnie RightSide, Tuesday evening. How you doing right now?
I'm doing good. Look, this is the high energy show. I see the liquid is already out. This is like the pregame to what we're going to be doing tonight, covering a little bit of Major League Baseball. Let's have some fun.
Yes, the liquid's out. The Canadian club has been poured, and the smile's back.
Smiles and cries.
Drew Martin, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Jimmy. I'm feeling a lot better than the morning after last night. And
Sure.
probably not too long until another drink, just move from your left to your right and ready to get after it again, bud.
I love it. And we've started with a winner today, which makes me 4-2 now, plus 3.54 units, because two big dog lines. Heaney. We talked about two things. We talked about third start off the IL, just like a horse in his form cycle. We also talked about, the Rangers bats hit him. Well, what about this Rangers lineup with no Mazzara and no Gallo? Cash it and smash it. Feels very, very good. And what I think is happening is because we have all these great cappers now, I get to work with the great cappers in the chat, but having them talking about these games, breaking down these games with us, gives me, I think we're going to be sharper this week, and we're going to keep a tally of all the plays that are given out in Miami as well. And we are coming off as a group for our best bets.
As a group, yes.
3-1. Plus 2.7 units on our best bets yesterday, which made me extremely happy. Okay, so this is what's up. It's 5:37 p.m. right now. We are going to give away live on air a NFL game day pass. And we've had about 15 people enter it. And how you enter it is it's the pinned tweet on SBR Sports Picks. It's a pinned tweet. And you go to it, and it explains it's all about our Sportsbook review best Sportsbook page. If you click onto that tweet, hit the bit, and click onto that tweet, and then just let us know which of these A and A plus books is your favorite book or the one that you want to open up an account with. And then you're entered, and we're going to do the draw here live on this show. We're going to be giving one out. So that's what's up here. And tonight, if you are in the 305, we will be going down to the Hollywood Boardwalk, and we're going to be doing up big. We're going to do a lot of blatant alcoholism. That's my job. That's my job. So I'm very excited about that. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. We got Vinny Cornell says, since it is a Miami sausage fest, it's time to drink a triple threat sausage selection. Yankees full game. Yankees over 2.5 first 5, and Cubs over 2.5 first 5. Add a lime, shaken not stirred, and take a big gulp. There's my guy, Vinny Cornell. It's just so enjoyable getting to cap with these guys every day. And there is the sausage selection. We also know that the Matt Randall taint play of the day is in, and it's the San Diego Cincinnati first 5 under, and I didn't bet it because I got 5 here on the show. I got 4.5 at my book. It moved down to 4.5, and percentage-wise, if I keep making that bet over a long period of time, I don't think I'm going to be over 50% without having that push at 5. I think you need to push at 5. If I'm not going to get it, I'm just not going to make the bet, and I think that's the smartest thing to do there. There's Andre Bulkin in the house. We got Deer Slayer Ski, says Cash the Angels. Not Flush Allen says Miami bound tomorrow morning. Eric Pompey says, what is the best underplay of the day? We're going to go over all that. Trotwam, Michael Welsh, Kyle Jack, Rod Zawacki, Ron Lofton, Gio Mercedes, Jay Scum, Nasty Nate, Guru Sports Bets. Guru Sports Bets is so sharp, man.
He's good. He's good in the chat box. Him and Tomar.
Yeah, he's
a bunch of
huge,
guys.
Yeah, it's such a huge asset to our team. Gerald Martinez, 400. Jeff Joseph in the house. Eric Jones. Walla does. Michelle Rudloff says, Jimmy, towel off and start the show. I love Michelle. I love Michelle. Nasty Nate, 400. We got Polo this, Polo that. Von Polo says, I love the new intro and outro. You guys are so creative, man. Oh, thank you, Von Polo. Much love. Man, I can't wait to party with Von Polo. When does Von Polo get here? He gets here tomorrow, I guess? I can't wait. So many people are getting here. I'm just getting more and more exciting. Russell Gordy in the house have got Boston at a dog price versus Nola. Well, those dog prices are gone. At least they were in the morning show. Nasty Nate says, what are the odds for Jimmy's mic being too low? That's up to you. Russell Gordy says, put the blunt down, let's go. Red Girl in the house saying Sky first quarter over and Phoenix with the points. And did you hear about this Phoenix situation opening up at 14.5 because they didn't know Griner was back and there was an 8-point market move?
I missed that one, Jimmy.
I missed it too.
I don't know. Maybe Donnie got it.
I did get it. I absolutely got that.
Whale Capper was talking about it. Cole Coleone in the house. Oh, what a great group. Okay, let's get to work. We got Rafa, we got Muhammad Joma, Captain Wiz, we got big guy Bubba. Bubba comes in tomorrow, so we got Bubba to party with Liberty Finder. Let's get to work. And Guru's play of the day is Twins first 5 minus a half at minus 132. As it sits right now, I would probably take the Twins run line, but it's gone way up. All right, so you have 20 more minutes to enter the contest and there's only 15 people though. That's pretty nice odds for someone getting an NFL Day Pass. You have in 20 minutes. We're going to cut it off. So at 6 o'clock, we're going to cut it off. We're going to do another one tomorrow. But you have 20 more minutes to go to that pinned tweet, at SBR Sports Picks, the pinned tweet, and just answer which of your favorite books, the A and A plus books. All right, that's what's up. So tonight, we are at the Hollywood Boardwalk to party. We are giving out SBR Pro memberships, and the main thing we need from you all week is if you haven't done it, sign up for the 50K Pick 6 contest. We are all going to be in it. Whale Capper, Drew Martin, Donnie RightSide, all the guys you see on the show are going to be in it, and we're all going to be going up against each other. We're going to toast the victors and roast the losers. And that's all I needed to get out. And again, Jansen Bonzen, we gave him a shout out on the early show, and I know you and Jansen are close. Jansen Bonzen drove his son down to Roanoke. Sorry, I don't know Virginia well. Down to Roanoke to start his college baseball career.
No, I'll tell you what's really cool about him is he kept in touch the entire way last year in the contest that he won, and it was really fun actually watching him all the way through and knock it down. And he was, coming down to the last week of the last game? I mean, legitimately shot to take down that number one spot, but cashed in. That's what we like, because you talked about already the Pick 6 contest. You know what the best part about that is you figure employee or you work for SBR, you can't do it. If you live in the United States, you could cash this ticket. So come on, I'm full in on this. This is going to be great.
Yes, I can't cash the ticket.
Yes, that's what we like.
But
Jimmy
what
can't
I want
win.
to do is I want to cash, and I want to donate the money to Spidey.
That's allowed?
Oh, it's back.
I don't know if
Yes,
it's
back.
allowed. I don't know if it's allowed, but I'm going to ask them.
I think
if
charitable
I cash,
donations
to
are
please
allowed,
give
yeah.
that money to Spidey. Okay, let's get to work. Let's get to work, guys. And we're starting off with a 1-0 day already, hitting with the Angels on the -1 line. I got the money line at -130, the -1.5 at +120. Cash, and makes me very happy. Donnie RightSide, looking at this whole card, I would like you to take it away and let's go to a game that you are looking at.
Yeah, just going over a few things earlier today. There's a couple interesting situations that are coming up, and you guys know me. I like team totals or taking the overs. Last night got absolutely washed out. There were two things that happened to me last night. One, took like 3 hours to get food, and number two, I'm sitting there, and I'm saying to myself, I really took a team total, which have been really paying dividends, and it's like first inning, no big deal. Second, not a big deal. Drew's sitting across from me. Third inning, no big deal. Fourth inning, no big deal. Fifth inning, sixth, seventh, they don't even have a hit yet. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Let's just close this place down and go home. But having said that, we'll hope for some better options tonight. Why don't we start in Boston tonight, Jimmy?
I love it.
Aaron Nola is going to be on the mound. Johnson's on the mound. You see the Philadelphia Phillies in all, they could have a really hot night when it gets going when Charlie Manuel came on, and then they could throw in some clunkers like they did with the Padres. Now, they should be able to hit lefties well. Johnson's not a great – how long is he going to go tonight? I mean, you're talking about a guy that 3, 4, 5, maybe type inning guy, not a great bullpen. But when you flip it over to the other side with Aaron Nola, very good this season. Started out April, not a good April, very good May, June, July, August follows all the way through. And you look at it right away, Jimmy, and what do you see? It's so – wait a second. This isn't Sale on the mound. This isn't a legitimate A1 pitcher on the mound. And you're going to talk about the Phillies with what? A pick 'em. What are we looking at SBRodds.com right now for this game? It is – let me see if we could bring this up here. I don't know why it's not coming up. There we go. Pick 'em. Fun with 11. The problem I have here is when you look at Boston's lineup, Jimmy, and I talk about red light hitters and green light hitters, it's all green for Boston. So what you're saying is, all right, it's an American League ballpark. You don't have to give up anything from the 9-hole. You're not going to just get a strikeout of the pitcher. And we all know if you can make Aaron Nola work, and he's out of the game, Jimmy, 6 2/3, 7 innings, you can get after that bullpen here. And that's the way I see it, because when you break down the Philadelphia Phillies and what they do, are we more likely to see, Jimmy, 3 runs or 6 runs out of the Phillies? Regardless of pitcher, you're more likely to see 3. It's so tough to sit back in this game and say, I'm going to fade Aaron Nola. If you're taking Aaron Nola in the Phillies, it's got to be first 5 to me, because you're going to get Nola versus Johnson, a better shot at it. I don't want anything to deal with a Phillies bullpen in an American League ballpark. If I'm leaning this way, Jimmy, I'm taking Phillies first 5, or else I'm going to take the full game Boston Red Sox here.
Wow. Very, very, very interesting. Phillies first 5, Red Sox full game. Randy Lockhart saying Nola 5-2, 2.09 ERA, past 11 starts, while the Red Sox starting Brian Johnson 1-1 on the season. We talked about Brian Johnson this morning, and he's not going to go long, maybe 2.5 innings at this point. I would be surprised to see him go 3. This market move to the Red Sox is very interesting. Is it simply people see the Red Sox at home, and just like me cashing against the Rays yesterday, this is a Boston Red Sox team that is 33-32 at home. So let's not just think about the Red Sox World Series champs and they're at home at Fenway as a dog. But that was the first thing that Rick said this morning because Rick was like, look, Red Sox are a home dog. Drew Martin, how are you handling Phillies Red Sox?
Yeah, I mean, like we talked this morning, Nola, 5 earned runs his last 19 innings. He's pitching very, very well. I think that starting pitchers-wise, obviously Philadelphia has the edge here. It's just Boston's lineup winning 5 straight games. I'm not necessarily looking to go against that, and it looks like the market's seeing, what pretty much at a pick-em price here. I'd have to go Boston or pass, and I'm likely going to pass at this price point, Jimmy. Just I don't know. I can't get there on either side, man. I think there's different subjects pointing to each side, and I think the price is about right. I think it's a toss-up game.
Well, I tell you what. If I was simplifying things, and we saw what that did for me last year, I would take Aaron Nola in the Phillies here. And I'm not going to do that. And I stopped with the market move scared me. Now, we saw both those moves with the Nationals Cardinals yesterday. The Nationals Cardinals each cashed pretty easily. Yeah. And here we see I'm scared with the market move again. Is Nola going to get touched? Do you like Nola on the road? Those are the main questions. And I'm going to pull up Nola's road numbers. Are you going to – so you're staying off?
Yeah, I'm staying off of this game, Jimmy. I just think a couple other spots – show more value and just not really seeing it. So, don't want to risk the 11 to win 10.
Yeah, I but I like Donnie's breakdown of first 5 Phillies.
Yeah. And
the full game Red Sox. I'm not going to make that move here, but I don't know how I would be. And then my boy Bookie Lover Q saying, Nola's going to get touched. Nola's road ERA is 4.63. His whip is 1.33. Not a bad whip, but a high ERA. You look at his past road starts. He has a start in San Francisco, a pitcher's park. He can only make it through 5.
Yep.
Then you're in Detroit. He has a nice start against Detroit. He's a nice start against the Mets. Look at those last starts. He goes into Atlanta and goes 8 strong. I remember that start. It was like he was saying, I'm the leader of this baseball team. And this is another chance for him to say, I'm the leader of this baseball team. If the more we talk about this, if we isolate this situation, there's my guy, the sports keg in the house. If we isolate this spot, Nola versus Johnson, why do we not take Nola first 5 with the Phillies?
Here's the problem that you run into, because you're right. Usually in baseball, pitching's going to dominate. Do you expect Aaron Nola to have a good outing tonight? I do, but I think he's going to get worn down. But here's the problem I have with the Philadelphia Phillies, which is what keeps coming out. Yeah, it worked for a night or two. You start Rhys Hoskins in the first hole, Jimmy. He doesn't, talking just in August, what is he batting, like 100? He's leading off. He's not going to be setting the table there. And then behind him, if you look at the bottom of the order, Cesar Hernandez, 267 weighted on base average versus lefties. Andrew Hazley, 274. And then you have Andrew Knapp at the bottom of that lineup. They're 3 dead ringers, and then you come up when you flip the line over to get to Rhys Hoskins. He hasn't been producing. Again, it just gets back to the adage. I've made more money betting against the Philadelphia Phillies and their pitching staff than any other team out there because the inconsistency crushes you. Can you see it tonight? Oh, look, Johnson's on the mound. 4 innings, 1 hit so far. I see that happening more than the other way around. It's a very cheap line, which raises it up because Aaron Nola should be favored in just about every start he makes, opposite going maybe to, the Dodgers or something like that. This game just sticks out to me. It says if Johnson can get through 2 or 3 innings, they'll bring in the bullpen, and bullpens absolutely collapse the Philadelphia Phillies offense.
This is such an example. This just reminds me of last year. This reminds me of last year when I just took it right in the drink hole, and I'm not. I see there's edges that we talk about. When we broke down that Angels first game, we got there. We got there, and it was like, okay, we're here. We're taking the Angels -1. We got there. Here, I'm not there. And both teams are difficult caps for me, and I'm off Phillies Red Sox. I'm not making a move on Phillies Red Sox, so I'd like to move on and start rolling through these games. The games that I already have picks on, plays on, I would like to go a little quicker through. The games I don't. And here's one that we're allowed to just skip, Donnie, if you want to. Royals at Orioles, Keller, Bundy. Now, Keller's been very good, but he's just getting no help. They've scored 5 runs in his last 4 starts, and we're on the road. We're on the road where he's not quite as good. We have Bundy at home. Bundy, I find extremely difficult to trust whether he's going to succeed or expect him to shit the bed like he does against the Yankees. Yeah. I find him extremely difficult to cap. Right now, looking at the market move for Orioles opened up as favorites. Now Baltimore are clear favorites, -120. A big move towards the Orioles. This total has moved very little. A 5-cent move to the over 9.5. Donnie RightSide.
You know what's really interesting about this game? Because when you look at the Orioles, and again, playing that favored role that you're looking at, it's like, man, why can they be favored? And we did it yesterday. But when you actually break down the numbers, you bring up a good point, Jimmy. When you look at Keller at home, 269 weighted on base average and a 207 batting average. Changes a little bit when you get on the road, and you know me. I like to look at the splits. I like to see what happens. You're going to have 6 left-handed batters today from the Baltimore Orioles. And on the road, if you take a look at Keller, 296 batting average and a 338 weighted on base average. And this is one of the better hitting ballparks out there. So you're going to get a bump in bats. If I'm going any way on this side, I probably be leaning more towards Baltimore than I would with Kansas City. But then again, sometimes you get what you ask for. You're not going to be able to close out games. They're going to make dumb fundamental moves for the Baltimore Orioles. But if I had to get, well, we always say, if you have a free play on the game, it would be Baltimore for me in this one.
Well, I would go with the market move. There's Ski Profit in our chat. Shout out to Ski Profit, man. We can't wait to get here on Thursday, man. We can't wait. He says Royals. You know, and going against the market move, and that's something I stopped doing. So what happened to me was about a month into the season, I was getting destroyed again, and then with some guidance, some guys in the chat that were like, look, you gotta stop doing this, you gotta stop doing that. One of them was going against market moves. Are you gonna hit over 54% going against market moves? I stopped doing that, and since that point, I mean, it's not a big deal, but since that point, I'm up 19.6 units, but I'm still almost. Right now, if we put that Angels game away, one more win, I'm back down to single digit units. I see plus in my future. I don't want to find an edge here. I don't want to find when we have 2 shitty teams. What angle can you believe in that you're going to put your money on? Your fucking money, and I'm not going to with these 2 teams. I don't want to make a bet there, Drew.
Like similar to what Donnie said, Bundy on the hill for Baltimore at home. I do agree with this line move towards Baltimore, but like you're talking about, Jimmy, and just to add on, being late to the party and giving up 20 cents of juice doesn't help either. And looking at Bundy's game log here, outside of the New York Yankees in New York, giving up 6 earned runs in 5.2 innings. He actually has put together some decent starts, actually even more than decent, solid starts. 2 earned runs against Houston, 2 earned runs against Toronto. So he's a pretty good pitcher overall. He can be, absolutely. So I would be on Bundy, but I do kind of agree with Molly Mall's statement. This game deserves no action.
God, I loved it. So succinct and to the point. Russell Gordon saying under again in St. Louis. We're going to talk to that too. Okay, we'll talk about that soon. All right, so let's just move past it. I'm not making a move. Don, are you making a move on this one? No. All right, so Nationals. Yeah, we talked about some historical mistakes that I make as a capper, and one of them is dealing with a situation where you talk about liking a spot and you don't bet it, and it cashes easily in every single way, and then there it is available the very next day. And traditionally, my ROI is terrible going back to the well. But I'm doing it here with 2 spots. Should I say I'm doing it here? Oh, man. But I am. I'm just being as honest as possible. I am going back to the Nationals. I'm taking them first 5 minus a half and a team total over 4.5. We broke down this game, Drew and I, on the morning show, Strasburg Archer. And Archer's another tricky cap. I find them very similar to Bundy, where when they're on, they can be lights out for 3 innings. And you're like, oh, I was right with the under. And then they allow 5 runs in the 4th. And it's just
crash and burn. It's
so uncomfortable for me. So Strasburg Archer, I can trust Strasburg. He knows he's going for his career-high 16th win. He knows that. That's a big deal to him. I was surprised that he never hit 16 wins. Donnie RightSide, Nationals, Pirates. I'm on the team total over 4.5, minus 130 in the first 5 minus a half.
It's like Washington Nationals. What are we looking at the last 3 games that they played? Is it 43 runs that they've scored? Mm-hmm. And then you're looking at an offense. One of the more enigmatic offenses in the entire league is the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they're in one of those funks. So how do you break out of it? Yeah, you go against Strasburg at home in a non-hitters ballpark that they play in. I'm the same as you. Like sometimes when you look at games, is it square? Sure, it's square. But you have one team that's red hot, 7 out of 8 victories, going for that wild card spot. One team dead in the water with a lifeless lineup out here. And you say, what am I missing? And then again, yesterday and the day before, people betting the Pittsburgh Pirates, the line going lower, and I understand like the metrics that people like to use with Chris Archer, high strikeout guy. And look, we're all human beings. You see like, oh man, maybe I get that Archer from a couple years ago when he was really good. I think he's back to that form. But even when you take a look at it, Jimmy, what are you getting out of Archer? Are we getting 7, 8 innings out of Archer? No. Like look at the starts. 6 innings, 5 innings, 6 innings, 5 innings, 6 innings. High strikeout ratio, but also not shutdown. When we talk about, Archer's back and having good games, well, he went 5 innings, gave up 3 earned. That's about average in Major League Baseball. Hot lineup tonight. I want nothing to do with the Pirates.
I want nothing to do with the Pirates. And Russell Gordy and my guy Dave Burke in the house, an incredible comic from Canada, headliner comic, joining us. Dave Burke, thank you for joining us, my guy out of Toronto. Check him out. Check him out on YouTube. He's hilarious. And we need Berkey at some of these events badly. Whenever Russell Gordy does this, I get scared. But this time I feel like I can answer it. But whenever Russell Gordy says, like, why is his number so low then? Like, why is it? But this time I think it's a pretty easy answer to say because they're on the road. They're 32-30 on the road. And the Pirates, if you took their home record before the All-Star break, it was good. So I just think it's that simple. Drew, why is Strasburg at minus 150? I mean, we didn't even talk about the market move here with Washington. Where is it here? Sorry, up at the top. Opens at I haven't logged in. It opened at it's at minus 157, minus 160. I think that's right.
Yeah,
I don't see that as being an under. I mean, an underlay. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I see it. Minus 164, the opener at Pinnacle. It dropped down as low as minus 147 when we were on the morning show. Mm-hmm. And then now it's popped back up about 10 cents, seeing minus 157 on the Nats. I like Strasburg, as like we broke it down on the morning show, going against Pittsburgh. A couple of the points Donnie mentioned as well, just this hot lineup. You look at weighted runs created number, the hottest lineup in baseball, hotter than the Red Sox lineup, even though they're on their run, hotter than the Astros, Yankees, throw it out there, number 1 in baseball. So I'm not looking to step in front of lineups like this. It's Nationals or pass. It's just now we're getting up into the 160 range. I'll likely pass.
Yeah, and I got the Nats first 5 minus a half at 115. That's not available. I'm certain. I shouldn't say certain. Well, yeah, okay, good. A minus 120s across the board, minus 120. So I'm comfortable where I stand. I didn't want to go too hard in it because we don't trust the Nationals bullpen. And they're on the road. So I took the 2 things that I believe in right now. And if we're talking about offense, Donnie talked about it. It's 62 runs over their past 5 games, 12 home runs over their past 2 games. Sure, Archer is capable of slowing that down. But right now, team total over 4.5, minus 130. Nationals first 5 minus a half, minus 115. I like it. I like where I'm at. Here's a spot where we're going to move on to the Indians-Mets game. And I found this. There's a couple spots like the Phillies game that I found. I'm not going to put my money on an angle here that I don't see, and I don't know if I see an angle here. If I had a free play in the Indians Mets game where it wasn't coming out of my pocket and all I could do was win. When I'm looking at full game money lines and totals here at the Sportsbook Review odds page, if I had a free play looking at this game, I would not take the road team at minus 150. And I want that road team to win. I want Bieber to win, but I'm not going to take a road team at minus 150 because you're just not going to end up with an ROI that can put food on the table. So I don't want in this game. And I don't know what Matz is going to do. I know he's a high-character guy. We talked about Matz when he got put into the bullpen. He's a high-character guy who stepped up, led by example, got himself back in the rotation, was pitching very well. I like Bieber. I know he's been allowing a lot of home runs of late. But minus 155 on the road, that's not going to pay your bills. So I'm off this game. Donnie RightSide, Indians, Mets.
You know what? When you just the best part about handicapping sometimes, Jimmy, we wake up in the morning and you don't even cap the game. You just look at the starting pitchers and the odds, and you say, you know what, Mike? You know what? Cleveland should roll in this game. You say, Matt, he's going to face a lot of right-handed batters tonight. And to be quite frank, it's a National League ballpark, so you get 7 right-handed batters out of the eligible 8. But here's the problem when you take a look at Matz. You want to go against Matz on the road. If you look at his splits here, lefty-righty splits, we'll take that out. Let's just look at the home and away. When he's on the road, a 362 weighted on base average and a 290 batting average against him. But how about at Citi Field, Jimmy? 282 weighted on base average, a 240 average. And if we really break it down, because, again, he's going to face a majority right-handed lineup. So when we take a look, 402 is a weighted on base average and 359 to lefties, Jimmy. Only one, that's Kipnis. The rest of the batters in that lineup tonight, a 249 weighted on base average and a 210 average tonight. So he's got the actual advantage on the mound. He's getting a plus price. And we're talking about the same type of situation we talked about the last game. When you have the Nationals on the road at a dead team, and you have that similar number. So you know what? I'm going to take the team that really wants to get in the playoffs versus a dead team. Mets aren't dead right now. The Mets are striving. They need every single win they can get here. And Bieber's the better pitcher. The lineup is better for Cleveland. But if you're going to give me that price at home for the Mets, it's great. Like I said, Donnie, how can you take Mets? I'm just looking at the numbers. That's a dog to me, a live dog.
You know, you have to. You have. But sorry, I shouldn't say you have to. But the Mets at home, 13 games over 500 at home. You're getting a plus line with them. I need the Indians to win the division so badly. You know, plus 1,100. I only have $125 on it, but I need that 15 hundo bad, Drew.
It would help out.
So I do not want to sit back tonight and cheer on the Mets. And maybe that's another example. We have to be consciously aware of the mistakes we make capping, and this is a mistake here. I do not want to back the Mets because I have a future on the Indians, and I don't want to cheer on the Mets, and that's honesty and transparency. But that's bad capping. If I had a free play to make 100%, I'd be on the Mets here on plus line home dog. But I'm going to stay off this game right now. What do you feel about this spot? And could you touch on the total if you get a chance?
Oh, total. I was actually looking at this pretty hard. 8.5 earlier today when we were on the morning show. And a lot of what Donnie just said, you know, Matt's 5-0 at Citi Field, 2.14 home ERA. Also, the fact that both of these bullpens, both Cleveland and the New York Mets, have gotten better. In the last 30 days, bullpen whip, top half of MLB. So that Mets bullpen has really taken a step in the right direction of recent. We got Cleveland outscoring the New York Yankees 34-18 just in their last series. But Bieber, a 1.01 whip, 200 Ks and 160 innings going after the opposing lineups. I think he actually has success against this Mets lineup. 6-1 K to walk ratio. He's also 8-2 on the road. And Matt's 5-0 Matt's the pitcher 5-0 at Citi Field, like we talked about. So I think both pitchers are going to have success. I would look towards the under. The market knocked out all the 8 in the hooks here, so it looks like just 8 flat across the board, which will probably keep me off a bet in the total, but I would look towards the under.
85 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 8 miles per hour, out to left center. I don't want an 8. I don't want an 8 in New York. I know the Indians bullpen's strong. Steven Matz is one of those guys. I liked really both your breakdowns were really nice and made me feel more comfortable staying off of it. But I know I'm staying off of it because of this future that I have on the Indians. And also the Indians' bullpen advantage over the Mets. I'm comfortable staying off this game. When you're taking money out of your pocket and betting it on a game, you need to have an angle that you can trust. And I'm just going to sit back and cheer on the Indians. I got other action tonight. So we're going to move on at this point. Look at our new audience member over there, man.
He won.
Whale
Did he win the game
man.
pass?
Highlight.
Yeah.
But so we got Whale Capper in the house. Whale Capper going to come join us and break down these games with us at some point. Come over anytime you feel good. I did pour him a Canadian club, so he's got a big smile on his face.
He's cheating.
But yeah, come join us. Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about a spot that we didn't cap hard enough because we didn't know who the pitcher was with the Mariners. We knew there was going to be an opener, and it's Whistler. And Whistler was a guy I really believed in 3 years ago when he was coming up with the Braves. He was a guy I really, really believed in. And I don't know what to make of him right now. Diego Castillo with the Rays, so it's a bullpen day with the Rays. I had my big cash, I had two big dogs yesterday, and one of them was fading this Rays team because, like the Red Sox, you hear the Tampa Bay Rays, you see them 20 games over 500, but they're only 3 games over 500 at home. Castillo, 2-6, 3.14 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, 56 Ks and 48 2/3, 21 walks, a lot of walks for the amount of innings, but he's a good pitcher, and he can easily get this rolling. But I have no play at this point. In Ant L, who's a great baseball capper, when it gets to these opener days and these bullpen days, he just stays away from them.
Yeah.
Because now we're talking about there's going to be moves made by the manager that we're not we don't know exactly how his plan is, so we don't have a starter that we can plan for 5 1/3 or 6 innings. And where do you find the edge, a legitimate edge that you have with these bullpen days? It gets very difficult. And I just cashed off the Mariners' first 5 yesterday, and I just felt uncomfortable with this game the whole time. Donnie RightSide, Mariners, Rays, and let me give you a quick market move on it before you roll in. It opened 8.5, juice to the over. It's still juice to the over at 8.5, but it's come back 5 cents, so it's minus 115. And then the Rays take money like they do at home all the time. And if you fade them at home, if you fade them every game, you're going to be up. It opened at minus 185. It's now minus 201. Donnie RightSide, Whistler, Castillo, Mariners, Rays.
Yeah, I mean, whoever brought that up in the chat box brings up a pretty good point, because we always like to know against the unknown. So when you have an opener and it makes it tough, you know what makes it even harder, Jimmy? Having a double opener. So you got Diego Castillo coming in, Jalen Beeks behind him, Whistler and Malone. And then you're also talking about the same thing that you had yesterday. Look, we like the Rays on the road. You know, it seems like they play better on the road. You know, there might be actual people in the stands on the road. But when you factor in the original equation here, how long are these openers going to go? 1 inning, 1.5? Does somebody get roughed up in the first inning, got to rush somebody in? But I'm not taking the Tampa Bay Rays at home with their record 2-1. You want to talk 150, 155, 140, 210? I'm out on that. No way. It's be only the Mariners or nobody else in this game.
And another we're going to talk about what you succeed in traditionally. Traditionally, when I have a huge score on a game, I don't want to go back to the well the next day. I don't want to go right back to the well. Is that a mistake? Is that a handicapping mistake? Well, Capper, what do you think of that? Some of these issues, just psychological issues. Here are 2 of them. One is you cash with a big dog first 5, and today I don't find the angle, so it's a pretty easy one today, and I don't want to go back. Another thing is with the Nationals, we capped that Nationals game. I've been heavy on Joe Ross since he was extended from the bullpen to a starting pitcher. I said that we don't need to cap this. The Nationals brass and brain trust has capped this for us. They're in the wild card chase and they're stretching them out. Back them, and I didn't back him yesterday after making money off him in 3 straight starts, and they cashed. So I traditionally lose when I go back the next day and back what I should have done the day prior, and it's just stupid psychological shit, possibly. What do you think of it?
That's without a doubt, it's the hardest thing to get past as as you get deeper and deeper into sports betting, and you're betting multiple picks every day. You have to be able to look past some of the psychological biases that come along with you back a team 2 days in a row, they disappoint you 2 times. You look at them the 3rd day and you want to punish them by not believing in them anymore, right? But in reality, it's an entirely independent sample. In baseball, you have a totally new pitcher. You could potentially have totally new lineups. You could be facing a totally different opponent, and you have to be able to completely separate all that from your handicap. And baseball has kind of evolved to a place where if you are inclined to run a numerical model and analytical focus on it, it's perfectly amenable to that. We have loads and loads of data of baseball games that go back hundreds of years at this point, or over 100 years. You have a lot of data, and you can figure out what matters and how players ought to be ranked, and how those rankings influence likelihood of any given team to win. And so a reasonable approach for baseball handicapping, you could literally just put together your numbers and have team A and team B and completely try to dissect how they've done recently and how you feel about that team from what the numbers are telling you. And I know people that do that. They don't even know what game they're looking at. They're simply looking at what the metrics are telling them about whatever this matchup would be, so that they can kind of divorce their feelings about the team and their feelings about that given game from that specific handicap. That said, it's still all kind of you can kind of if you don't want to take an analytical approach to baseball, then you're stuck trying to evaluate the market and trying to get the best of a number, a lot of times then you can prey on other people who are subject to those biases. And you can look at the market and you can see, hey, this team has underperformed 2 days in a row. They opened this line with value on that team, and lo and behold, there's been a gold rush to go fade them, right? And those situations, if you're going to steer clear of trying to take an analytical approach about baseball, then you probably are going to be looking for opportunities to buy low, sell high when the market itself is subject to those same biases.
Yeah, and you talk about the models, and it's such a big part of baseball handicapping, and you set up your model, and then you see what the market comes out, and if you have an advantage either which way you hammer it. And I get that. But Drew and I were talking at length about Kyle Seager, a vet with a $100 million contract, taking heat nonstop. What a fucking bum! Your brother's so much better than you. All that shit, and then he turns it on late in the season when the team has no hope for anything, and he comes into the clubhouse and he gives you that little wink because he's hit 22 of his last 23 games. And you're like, oh shit, we're gonna win today. We're gonna fucking win today, and that's the psychological aspects that make me so excited about capping baseball, whether or not they're legitimate is depending on how you view it. But here, I'm not going to go back to the Mariners. Well, Drew, how do you see this spot, Mariners-Rays?
One angle that I would just kind of throw out there is the Mariners just put up 9 runs in Tropicana. And Tropicana is a dome that a lot of teams have had trouble with lighting-wise. So them being able to see the ball and start off the series like that, I think that it could translate over more so. And to have a huge plus price, I agree with you guys. I mean, the Rays, give me minus 110, and I'm all over the Rays. But at this price point, and you got to be betting numbers, got to remember that, it would be the Seattle Mariners. I think mainly because they just showed us yesterday that they can score runs in bunches. And overall, it's a team that hasn't quit, kind of correlated with what you were talking about with Seager. So I would try to ride that train.
Are you going to ride that train?
I'm looking to add a couple more plays here. And by the end of the show, might jump on it, man.
I gotta stay put here. Let's move on to the taint play of the day. Our boy Matt Randall, taint play of the day here, and so, well, Capper, I don't know if you know the legend of our Matt Randall. We created the taint play of the day. Caught fire. Everyone wants to know what the taint play of the day is. Also, we have had 2 cappers, low baggers, that have capped while their wives are giving birth and given us all of the important statistics that we need for our analysis while the head's popping out. And Matt Randall was the recent one to do that. Q Peso was the first one, and of course he named his daughter Lobagalin to for the love of the show. And we watched Lobagalin.
Classic millennial name.
we watch Lobagalin is our family. Lobagalin's our family. And Matt Randall named his son Briggs and his first son. And we love Matt Randall so much. So in the taint play, they caught fire. So the taint play today, Padres, Reds, first 5, under 5, Quantrill, Gray. And Drew and I got to this late in the day. Too late because I somehow skipped over it, and we got to it late in the day. And my book was not hanging the 5. It was hanging a 4.5, and it continues to do so. Let me just go to the first 5. So I made the bet line shopping. But I'm not going to bet it, and it still keep going down. You know what? So it's 4.5 in my book at minus 120. At the time, it was 4.5 at plus 105, and I still didn't take it because I think percentage-wise, if I don't have that push at 5, I don't think I'm going to hit over 50% on the bet. So I didn't bet it, but I made it a play on the show. Cal Quantrill, Sonny Gray, Donnie RightSide.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I'm usually a total overs player, and what I like to look for those advantages. But when you take a look at both sides, I mean, Sonny Gray, if he pitched that well, he'd still be in New York. He's been fantastic this year. And then you roll around and say, hey, it's a hitter's ballpark, and they should be able to score some runs. Who's this Cal Quantrill guy? But when you break down his numbers, Jimmy, again, we'd like to take a look at him moving from a really pitcher's ballpark out in San Diego over to a hitter's ballpark. But his translations are unbelievable. When you take a look at his home, 280 weighted on base average. When he goes on the road, Jimmy, 284 weighted on base average. Sensational stuff. And if you're looking at this game overall, Padres without Tatis Jr., not the greatest lineup in the world. I think Quantrill can do decent work here. I agree with your under, man. I really do. I like the first 5 under look.
I like it too, but would you? I like it too, but would you take it at 4.5 and not 5?
Well, what are you looking at juice-wise on that? Is there a discrepancy on that?
Well,
or is it plus money at all?
I can't take it now. I can't take it now because it was offered to me after the morning show at a plus line. Now it's minus 120.
There's even juice now on the 4.5 towards
minus
the under.
120.
Yeah, seeing minus
so
as high as minus 130.
I just never want. I can't be that guy. That guy who's taking that ass end of the move. I'd rather, even if it wins, I don't care. I don't care. I just don't want to be on. If I stop ever taking the ass end of the market, if I stop that completely from my capping, I will my ROI will.
He's going. I mean, you're looking at. I still like it at 4.5 because again, when you're looking at matchups there, he really dominates against right-handed batters, Jimmy. When he's at home, which he's not at home tonight, but I just want to use this as a background. 184 batting average to righties. You go him on the road, Jimmy, 200 with a 270 weighted on base average. There's no power in the lineup for us. He's not giving away at bats. He's facing a majority right-handed lineup, and you have red hot Sonny Gray on the opposite side against a Padres team. That's not the greatest Padres spot. Come on, 2-1, 2-1 after 5. You got it. Come on.
I'm not going to make the move at 4.5.
Make
just
it.
out of whale cap or Padres Reds. Have you looked at this Quantrill Gray spot?
I'm breaking it down a little bit right now, and I got to tell you, I think they're underpricing Gray here a lot. I don't 100% understand why why they opened this as significantly as they did in favor of Cincinnati. I think San Diego's been somewhat of an underrated team this season in general. I would look for a first 5 look here. I think Sonny Gray gives us a good August performance.
Yeah, and at BetOnline opened this at -180 for Cincinnati. So BetOnline's had a 27-cent move towards the San Diego Padres. Drew Martin, Quantrill Gray.
Yeah, and just yesterday we saw a low-scoring game between these two. Quantrill, a guy that I haven't really been involved with, but since June 28th, pretty much every game he's pitched, he's either walked 0 or 1 batters. That's pretty impressive. Strikeout numbers are decent, but with those walk numbers, I think he's going to have success here. Gray, as we know, has just been lights out. I think he's definitely going to have success against the righty-heavy San Diego Padres lineup. So I agree with the under as well. I think I just got priced out of it, similar to you, man.
He's ready. He's ready to take the 4.5 right here. Here it comes.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to take the 4.5. I'm not going to be on the ass end of movements again. Not for the rest of my life. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stop in every sport and everything. I understand that the first 5 under 5 is probably right, but if you believe that, you have to get it the night before or in the morning, because your analysis says that. And if you wait till an hour before baseball or before the first pitch, then you're going to lose in the long run. And I'm going to stop losing in the long run, Donnie.
I don't like that idea. I like losing in the long run every once in a while.
Okay. Let's. I would like you to take away or lay us into this Marlins-Braves game, Drew. Full game over 9.5. This was a move we talked about. You like the Marlins as a big dog. It excited me very much. I ended up taking the over 9.5. Hernandez, Keuchel, since the morning. So you got a. What was the line that you ended up getting on that plus line? Because there's even been a bigger move towards you.
The secret's getting out, Jimmy. And you talk about jumping on these trains where we're seeing a 60-cent move in MLB in August. That's pretty rare. I mean, granted, this is a big line here with -300-ish open for Atlanta. It's just the profile of Dallas Keuchel against this Marlins offense. Not that the Marlins are going to, smack them around by any means. They did last time. 3.2 innings pitched, 8 earned runs against the Marlins. One of their best performances of the year, really. It's just when you look at the Marlins and break it down against finesse pitchers that pitch 88, 89, top off at 90 miles per hour and below, their team OPS is over 700, whereas opposed to the other type of pitchers, 91 and above, it's team OPS of 635. And you go to their 3 and their 4 hitters, the guys Anderson and Cooper, when you look at this Marlins lineup, above average MLB players. A lot of people like to kind of make fun of the Marlins, a AAA squad. Not these two. And their OPS against finesse pitchers is over 1,000, and that's over 250 at-bats this year. I like all of those numbers, getting a plus 242. Book it, Jimmy. Play of the day, baby. Ooh. Plus 242.
Man, I love it. I mean, I didn't tail it.
So you don't love it that much?
No, but I loved it, and it got me towards the over 9.5. The problem is, for me, when I take a team that is worse than the other team, I want the sample size to be as small as possible. I want to break it. I want 5 innings, only 5 innings. Even if the Marlins, as you broke down very nicely, have a much better bullpen than the Braves bullpen, and you broke that down in the morning show, it doesn't matter. The Braves lineup is so scary. If I'm going to take a big dog, I just want 5 innings. Can we get there in 5 innings? Can I get that 2 runs in the first inning and give me a shot? So I didn't end up pulling the trigger with it. Donnie RightSide, what do you think of the spot?
Yeah, you know
Hernandez,
what? More of like a team total side. I really like the Atlanta Braves in this one. I'm going to tell you why. Because, again, we get that same split that we look at, which we're going to be at this ballpark. It is huge. It is cavernous. If you give up fly balls, that's the place you want to give up fly balls at. Not when you go to Atlanta and a little bit of the mugginess. Now, when you take a look at the lineup, you're going to get five left-handed batters for the Atlanta Braves in this game. On the season, combined both home and away for Hernandez, a .416 weighted on base average and a .287 average. If we take a look at his home and away splits, which do matter in these spots, going from a hitter's ballpark and a pitcher's ballpark, .320 weighted on base average at home. On the road, Jimmy, .397. Now let's flip it into the away stats, which, again, you're going to get some really good left-handed bats in that lineup. It's not a huge sample size. Only 35 batters he's faced from the left-hand side. On the road, .355 batting average with a .534 weighted on base average. Now, he's a little bit better against righties, but when we're talking about righties who can hit, Albies and Donaldson are raking versus right-handers. I just think the team total looks really good here for the Atlanta Braves. I don't want to mess with the side. I don't want to mess with if Keuchel's getting that call 6 to 8 inches off the plate tonight and he turns in a decent performance. I think the Braves are going to get after Hernandez in this game, at least getting 5+ runs against them.
I think Hernandez gets touched on the road. I agree. I'm just going to look at my book quickly what the team total over is. It's over 5.5. I hate the 5.5 and 6.5s.
I love 5. 5 is always my favorite number, but in this game, I just think they're going to stay hot in this game. Look, the matchup of the numbers makes sense, and I love a guy. I think his xFIP for Hernandez, when I was looking, is close to 8 on the road. His FIP, I think, is 8, and maybe the xFIP about the same. That means he's giving up fly balls. And, again, you get away with that in a dome environment, in a massive ballpark. You don't get away with it in humidity.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, but you're getting your 5s at 5 dimes. Is that where you get the 5s without the half?
We can make it up.
Yeah, we can make it up for sure. But see, I don't get the 5s.
No, 5. I like it 6 or more. Like I don't even mind it in this spot. I think they can get the 6. I see some home runs in this book because if you're going to give up fly balls, Atlanta can drill them, and I think they're going to be able to get to a 6 spot here.
I'm on the over 9.5, and it combines both of your analysis on the game, and I think I'm in a really nice spot here. I got over 9.5 at -107. If I was doing that, if I was getting that right now, full game over 9.5, I would be getting. Oh, I can still get -107, so that's no move, no whatever. I still like it. Whale capper, Marlins, Braves, Hernandez, Keuchel.
Keuchel is a classic boomer bust right now. In really the last 2 seasons. I know he hasn't played a full season. He only signed in July or whatever. But he comes out and he either throws you lights out pitching, or he gets absolutely rocked. 2 starts ago against these Marlins, he got shelled. Mm-hmm. And when you have a young team like that and they have a little bit of confidence, having recently seen senior stuff. I would expect the Marlins to be very, very live in this one. I'm shocked the line is what it is. I mean, it's one of those that makes you do a double take. Like, I missed something critical in this game. Like, Hernandez was, had a, he was out all night last night, and he has a wicked case of GI stasis or something like
stasis.
He's got he's something's going on with him where he's not expected to perform or something like that. But I guess that lends itself to an over here. But Keuchel, he's not the same pitcher that people remember when he was dominant from years past. He has plenty of performances where he just absolutely no shows and gets utterly rocked. And I like them look on the Marlins with that kind of price for sure.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm going to stick with that over 9.5 from the morning show. And I'm excited about this game, and I can't wait to be in the ballpark on Friday night.
Yeah.
Damn. So on that Friday night show, we got Joe Rainieri joining us. There's going to be 7 of us on the show, and then we're going to go right from here to the ballpark and just fucking heckle. That's all I'm going to do.
Sean Rodriguez.
That's going to be a good
Rodriguez.
one.
Well, yeah, that sounds like the guy. So my rule, Whale Capper, is there's 2 things I do when I heckle, or 3 really. I say the first name of the ball player that I'm heckling. I open with the first name and I close with his first name.
Okay.
Like an opening and ending, shutdown. 2, I never have alcohol in my hand while I'm heckling.
Sure.
And I don't swear. And it's approved by everybody. Everybody fucking loves this shit.
It hits them where it hurts.
Everybody fucking loves that shit.
And you can't have alcohol in your hand?
No, because parents don't want. If you're a dad with a 6-year-old, and you see me with the beer going like that, it's not a good image. But if I'm sharp and it's funny, and I've got no alcohol in my hand and I don't swear, the dad laughs, the kid his eyes are wide open. Yeah. He understands that there's different ways to watch a baseball game. You know? All right, let's go. Brewers, Cardinals, Gio Gonzalez, Michael Wacha. I want you guys to take it away because both of these pitchers mess with me so much. I'm not making a move on them. I thought Wacha's performance was very nice. It was only 5 innings, but it was his first performance in months where I was like, Wacha's got stuff tonight. It's the first time I've seen it in a long time. Look at 5.44 ERA, 1.63 whip, 85 Fahrenheit, 9 miles per hour out to left center. It's hot in St. Louis, not as hot as it was yesterday. Gio Gonzalez is a pitcher I don't trust. Both these lineups aren't hitting because now with the Brewers, for the first time, you can pitch around Yelich because nobody else is doing anything. And the Cardinals showed that last night. And the Cardinals have been in playoff mode for, a month? For 6 weeks, they've been in playoff mode. And they continue it. There's no way I would touch Gonzalez, and I bet if I put my money on Wacha, it would disappear from my pocket. So I just don't want anything to do with this spot. Cardinals have won 5 straight against the Brewers. Donnie RightSide, this is a tricky game that Drew and I broke down on the morning show, and I find it very uncomfortable.
Yeah, you want to take it day to day because yesterday, if you're just looking at this game again, I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm going to jump back on the Milwaukee Brewers. There's no way I'm going to take a total because just how sloppy it was yesterday. Not much offensive punch, but these two pitchers, they can really, like when you're talking about Gio Gonzalez, this isn't like 5, 6, 7 years ago where he can do that 6 innings, 100 pitches. He's basically like a fill-in starter. Please get us some innings so we don't have to burn our bullpen up. And when you take a look at the offense from St. Louis, they match up pretty well with Gio Gonzalez. Same thing with Michael Wacha on the opposite side. You have guys that can hit in this lineup. Like you're talking about, weighted on base average versus right-handed pitching this year. Grandal, 364. Yelich, 503. Hero, 453. Braun, 351. Thames, 379. Like they should be able to hit, but you're right. They're back in playoff mode. If I'm looking at this game, shying away a little bit from like a team total on each side, I sort of still lean towards the over. But I think you're going to get a better performance overall out of Wacha and the pitching staff than you are going to get out of Gio Gonzalez. It's just simple as that.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I really think so, too. And while you were saying that, I was and imagining I've been watching these guys. I watched Wacha's last start. I watched Gio's last start. Let's look at the market move right now to see if it's an ass end of a situation. Money lines and totals here at sportsbookreview.com, SBR odds page, which should be up all day long. It should the odds page should never not be up on your computer. It should be there all day long, looking at the colors, seeing where the market's moving. It should never not be on your computer. Here we go. It's a market move, a small market move towards the Cardinals. I've not added any play, I don't think, on this card. I'd have to go over it, but I don't think I've added a play at this point. And there's been a 10-cent move towards the Brewers, and 2 cappers that I respect enormously, Dom Ricci, who's on his way here, and Big Ragu, and guys who've been in the game for so long. They say you don't let those 10, 15-cent market moves in August deter you. And baseball scares the shit out of me, and I become like a little bitch, and like fucking as soon as I start capping it, and I get scared by the 10 or 15-cent market moves. I mean, that's just what's happening. We all saw what happened last year. Embarrassment is not the right word, my prison pocket was violated. I think Wacha and the Cardinals are the play tonight. Drew.
I'm with you. I think, like you guys touched on, Milwaukee, betting on Milwaukee with Yelich in this little slump that he's in, 0 for 8, 4 Ks. Granted, he did have 5 walks, but still, with him not hitting well, I'm not looking to bet on Milwaukee. Plus, St. Louis hasn't seen Gio Gonzalez this year, but when you go back a couple years, the 3 big bats in their lineup, Goldschmidt, Wieters, and Fowler, 31 for 62, batting 500 off of Gio Gonzalez. That was in the write-up on SBR Sports Picks. Good write-up there on this game, so check that out on the website. So I think that all points towards St. Louis Cardinals in this one. Just at a pretty modest price here, right around a pick 'em, Jimmy.
I'm about to add on the Cardinals.
Why is the line so cheap, though, honestly? Doesn't the line look cheap to you, though?
This is what Russell Gordy says. And it scares
like
the
a
shit
minus
out of me.
105, it's almost surprising to see.
Kyle Jack says Cardinals in the under looking good.
Cardinals.
Well, Capper.
Cardinals. I like Michael Wacha a lot. I think he builds from this point into the playoffs, and I think the St. Louis is just in general being slept on a little bit to make some noise in the playoffs. And people are kind of zeroed in on the Dodgers, who are clearly the best team in the NL, but St. Louis is damn decent. And Michael Wacha, he's underpriced because since the middle of June, by weird fortune, almost every one of his starts has been on the road. He happens to have had a lot of tough matchups against good offenses on the road, and now he happens to be facing an offense in Milwaukee that's a little bit overrated based on who's actually out there with the lineup. So Waka makes a great look here as a dog. I think they should be favored by 5 to 15 cents.
I'm taking it on the -1 line. This is an addition to my action right now, and they're few and far between. But I know capping with you guys, because I get the opportunity to cap with the chat. So obviously, I'm 45 or 50 units higher in baseball just because I'm only listening to the chat and not my own thoughts. But capping with you guys all week, I'm 4-2, up 3.54 units right now in MLB, and I expect that shit to happen this week in Miami. Very publicly, I expect to fucking cash all week long, and it's not just the Canadian club talking, Drew Martin. I'm with you, man. I'm gonna take the -1 on the Cardinals right now. I'm gonna take the -1. So the money line for the Cardinals is -104. So I'm getting, and that's pretty much market. There's like 4 or 5 books with it. So I'm gonna take -104 and the -1.5 here. The -1.5 here with the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm going to grab that right now. While I'm grabbing that -1, let's move on because we've been taking a little bit too long. We do have to talk about the game 2 of Angels-Rangers, but that's a complicated spot. And we have not flushed Allen in the chat right now. We're picking him up. I get to be with Seth to pick him up at 9 p.m., with him, his wife Kristen, and Trotwam. Giants-Cubs. And in the chat, if you're watching in the chat right now, our guy, Not Flush Allen, our San Francisco Giants expert, is starting to pitch the under to everybody. And a Beatty Hamill start scares the shit out of me. And I said that before the last start, although I didn't bet against Hamels, which I should have. But I said after Hamels got lit up 5 weeks after coming off the IL with an oblique injury, I was like, I don't know what he's going to do. And then he gets lit up again. I don't want anything to do with him. But what I do think is going to happen is when the Cubs are at home for the rest of the year, I think they're going to win, and fucking win. Now, you have to find the right odds and the right situation to make money off of it for a ROI that's going to make sense. For me, I'm just team total over 5.5. I think Beatty's going to get touched. Not Flush Allen, one of his notes is that Beatty's pitching for his job right now. I don't care. This isn't the Salvation Army. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about Tyler Beatty. I don't care if he's pitching for his job. I don't know his story. Fuck do I care? I'm trying to put money in my pocket. I'm taking the Cubs team total over 5.5. Donnie RightSide, what do you see here?
Right on par with you, Jimmy. Right on par. Because when you take a look again at what Beatty does, he had, in the month of May, a 4.08 weighted on base average. In June, 3.40. Oh, he's getting it together, Jimmy. 3.07 in July. Then he goes right back to a 4.48 weighted on base average for the month of August. When you take a look at the Chicago Cubs, they have a really good lineup that's looking forward to tonight to obviously go against Beatty. But you're going to get about double-digit winds blowing out the dead center field. Whenever the wind's blowing out, Beatty's not the type of shutdown pitcher you're going to get. I agree with you. I love it. I think the Cubs get 6+ runs tonight off them. Wind blowing out, nice warm weather. Tattoo it.
Perfect night at Wrigley Field. Yep. Perfect night to be in those stands to 9 miles per hour out to left center. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's the Cardinals game.
Oh, that's
sorry,
we'll just go with it. Go with
okay,
it. It's beautiful.
No, I'll stop going with it. Sorry, 10 miles per hour out to right center.
Yeah.
80 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 10 miles per hour out to right center. I'm all over the Cubs team total over. Drew Martin, Giants, Cubs.
When you talk about the Cubs, you got to bring up their 41-19 in Wrigley. They're in Wrigley tonight. It's just a matter of laying this big price. What minus 190-ish? Not really into that, especially with Hamels, all the trouble he's had of recent. I agree with you guys. And again, we're getting kind of the butt end of this market move on the total. It opened at 9. Now we're seeing 10.5. But still, I think with the wind at Wrigley, that points a lot to it. So it's not as bad of a play. But I see both pitchers actually getting touched, so I like the over as well.
Yeah, also, by the way, my Cardinals -1 is fucking gorgeous. I got a money line at -104, a run line at +178.
Nice.
I'm getting a huge. Now, when I bet it, it'll be different. I'll just give you a heads up on the less glory when I bet it here at Bet365. It won't be. That's line shopping, which is the reason why. Also, if I'm up 1 unit, then I lost in MLB because of line shopping SBR odds. I need to be up at least 10 units. That's the advantage I get because I'll be over 1,000 bets. So don't think I don't have it twisted. I understand I'm getting the best line all the time when we line shop at SBR odds, and that's not legitimacy. Here with the Cardinals, I will get -110 on the money line and 165. Wow. I know that's not plus 165. I need to go because on the -1.5 line, the Brewers are favored in that game. So I'd be taking a reverse run line with the Cardinals. I love the Cardinals -1 at a plus line. I think that's and we'll see tomorrow, but I think that's a gorgeous, gorgeous bet.
Only thing you got to be a little concerned about, Cardinals at home. It's tough to expect them to win by more than one run.
That's why you take the -1 line.
-1, yeah.
I watched Pete destroy with it last year, time and time again. And Drew Martin is works with the belief that -1.5 lines don't work at home.
Yeah.
And I think
Long term.
I don't. I mean -1 lines. I watched Pete eat, Loshak eat with this. What do you think here, Brewers Cardinals?
The Brewers and Cardinals, the game. I like the Cardinals. Waka, I think, is in better form. Gio Gonzalez, again, he's a guy that went to high school not far from where we're sitting right now, Miami Pace. But at a pick 'em price here, I like the Cardinals mainly because of what we touched on: Goldschmidt, Wieters, Fowler's hitting 500 off of Gio Gonzalez in the past. So I think that all points towards the Cards.
Yeah, no, I like it. And with Giants Cubs locked down, BD Hamels team total over, and then here's the big. I don't know. It could be a mistake, but Tigers Astros. I took the team total over 3.5. I saw a plus line with the Tigers. I've watched Sanchez so closely, and I think that combined no hitter was just a pitcher with skill getting out of Toronto. The reason why I know that there's a red flag around Sanchez is that Stroman and Sanchez were best friends, and then they stopped talking to each other, and it just takes one man out of two people to fix that situation, and it was never fixed. And now they're both not on the Blue Jays. So this is not all on Sanchez. It's not all on Stroman. But there's balls being fucking dropped from a psychological standpoint from your clubhouse. You have two best friends that are supposed to be the 1 and 2 on your staff, and then they don't talk, and nobody fixes it, and now they're both traded. Get out of our city. We'll find a better group that can work together. Donnie RightSide, I think Sanchez gets touched here by a shitty Tigers lineup that can't hit righties.
Yeah, it's one of those games I didn't, taking a look at Detroit overall value-wise on that. But you're right. And also, why are they favored so much every single night? Like, why is the Astros favored every single night by this margin? Have we seen this in a while, though? Used to be like the Yankees, maybe like the late 90s, early 2000s. But we're taking a look at a line like, where's the value here? 340, 340, 370, it opens up, and it drops to 260, and we get a laugh. It's still 260. I don't know, man.
Astros, they're 80 and 46, but they're one of those teams when they get on the road, people still think it's the Astros, and they're like 7 games over 500. They're the perfect road fade.
Every day they open up. Didn't we just see a couple weeks ago them go to Baltimore and get beat? It's like a 400. It's amazing.
My guy Keith Sadler says Walker is a bum. Won't trust my money with him. And I love Keith. And you might be right. We'll see tonight. Drew Martin, Tigers, Astros. I'm on that team total over 3.5. We talked about it on the early show.
I'm fascinated by this line move. We talked about the Marlins with a 60-cent line move in MLB in August, and that's not even the biggest line move on the card. This one's moving 80 cents. This has got to be a first in August in quite some time. I wouldn't try to buck this line move. I think it's the right side. It's just, losing a lot of value betting on the underdog. So, man, I don't have a play on this one.
Well, Capper, what do you think here? I took the plus. I saw a plus line at 3.5. I got very excited. Maybe they'll blow up my face tonight, but I jumped.
I'm gonna go a little outside the box here. I'm gonna give you a little curveball.
And I find myself interested right away.
Spencer Turnbull.
Yeah.
Don't love his stuff. Astros, extremely difficult to get out at home, especially.
But they've not been hitting lately.
They have not been hitting lately, but you know what else they don't do? They don't strike out against right-handed pitchers. I'm going Turnbull under K's prop.
Ooh.
Turnbull. We'll see like 3.1 from him. Maybe he strikes out 1, maybe 2. But give me like under 4, under 3.5K prop. I'm sure it's out there. Somebody in the chat probably knows what the price is. But I would go low on that one. I think Turnbull has a very difficult time striking these guys out, and these Astros. In general, in this spot against Turnbull is a nice spot for them. So it could be a tight game. It's probably it's probably fairly priced now after the line move, but I don't think Turnbull's going to impress us tonight.
Well, Guru says Turnbull is a bum.
Ooh, those are
I
fighting
love
words
that
in
saying.
baseball.
He's a bum.
He's a crumb bum.
Talking about shouting at players at the Marlins game on Friday, I feel like we need to be like, hey, you're a bum a lot.
No, because you got to take bum to the next level. Like you beg for change on Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just take that simple blatant thing. You got to find an angle here. I see you in front of the 7-Eleven with your half-drink Slurpee, you son of a bitch.
Jimmy, the first couple innings, I just need to have a couple beers, watch you do it, and then about the 4th or 5th inning, I'm going to jump in if you don't mind.
You need 6 or 7 beers, but we'll do that.
Well, I'm factoring in before we get to the game as well.
Seth, I've hit you with slack a couple times. I want to know about the draw because we got the big draw, so I would like to have an idea of how we're going to bang that out. Okay, so I like your Turnbull underprop, but I kind of like him. Whale Capper, do you see is your dislike or your feelings about Spencer Turnbull is because he's a rookie? He's been better than we thought he was going to be. Do you think on the road in Houston is that part of the problem? Do you think on the road in Houston against a dangerous Astros squad that's not been hitting, they could eat off him?
It's mostly just his stuff is not good enough to strike them out. Like I just don't see him getting Ks again. He's a right-handed pitcher. If a lot of times these you're looking at average season-long averages at this point that are informing these prices in the strikeout prop market, and they whiffed on this one. Turnbull does not have the stuff to get to strike out this lineup as a righty.
No, that makes sense. So then I guess the over is in play. Big Ragu says, see my guys tomorrow. Big Ragu flying in tomorrow. I can't wait to have Big Ragu here, man. I'm so excited. Let me ask you this. If the total is live, here, if the Astros are going to get touched, and I think that the Tigers can get to Sanchez, should we take the full game over, Drew Martin?
It's worth a look. I'm not interested in taking the under. It's just a matter of getting to the over at 9. The market's moved down. I know you don't like it going against market moves, but yeah, if this Detroit lineup gets to Sanchez, because I do believe Houston's gonna get to Turnbull. I like that prop on the under for strikeouts, but even more so, I like Houston to get to him. So yeah, I would like the over.
I'm taking it right now. So I was laughing at Fat Fist that I see with your Canadian whiskey, you son of a bitch. He said he wrote pitch, but I imagine he was thinking bitch.
I thought that was funny.
Okay. I'm gonna take the over right now. I agree, but I'm higher on Turnbull than you are. But if the Astros are going to wake up now with there's no Correa, let's go over their lineup. Actually, Donnie, I would like you to take a look at this lineup for me. This Astros lineup right now. Where is it? Right there. Springer, Altuve, Brantley, Bregman, Alvarez, Gurriel, Reddick, Maldonado, Mayfield. You have Mayfield at shortstop because Correa is on the IL. You have Maldonado behind the plate. You have Reddick who's playing way over his head for the first half of the season. Now he's back to reason why the A's got rid of him. So you're going to need all your offense from Springer, Altuve, Brantley, Bregman, and Alvarez, who's been a beast this year. I think I can get 2 runs minimum from the Tigers. I want more, obviously. I'm on the team total over 3.5. So I feel like the over, I'm going to bet the over right now, unless you tell me otherwise.
Yeah, it's actually interesting here when you take a look at it because Turnbull isn't that good a pitcher. But again, when you get back to matchups overall, he gets hit around by left-handers a lot more than he does with right-handers. And we know a lot of the power comes from that Houston lineup from the right-hand side. If we take a look at his away splits, Jimmy, a 208 average and a 285 weighted on-base average on the road versus right-handed hitters. This might be one of those days where maybe if the bats cool off on the opposite side and Sanchez has a good game, maybe the Astros just fall asleep 5-0, 5-1, 6-1 type victory in this game.
You're absolutely right. That's a completely legitimate outcome. But the first leg I stood on was saying that Sanchez, after that joint no-hitter, is going to become worse. So this could easily happen the way you've predicted it. But my first leg was Turnbull. So having Whale Capper back Houston, I'm taking the over right now. I'm getting over 9 at -105. That's available both Heritage and 5 dimes. We've got to make some moves. We've got to be quick for the rest of the card. Although I would just like to sit here for hours and hours breaking down all of these games. But we got to go because I also got to give out the NFL Game Pass. But White Sox Twins, Drew, can you take it away because I've got a line shot for this over and
Absolutely. We got the Minnesota Twins 42-17 versus teams with a losing record. Also 42-15 versus starting pitchers with a WHIP over 1.3. and they're 36-16 off of a loss. The Chicago White Sox, as we talked about on this show yesterday, coming in with the win, plus 190-ish price range. I know a lot of people in the chat box jumped on it. Jimmy and myself were on it. Nice cash there. It makes me look towards this Minnesota Twins team total over. Pineda has not let up 3 runs he has let up 3 runs or fewer in 14 of his last 15 starts. 2-0 against the Chicago White Sox this year. Makes me look towards Minnesota minus the price, just not looking to lay in the minus 200 range. So I look more so towards Minnesota team total over, which, Donnie, I know you like a lot as far as the team total overs. Not sure if you're interested in this as well.
I'll tell you what's interesting, because when we take a look at the pitchers, he was one of the ultimate fade pitchers for me for a long time, especially with team totals. You're talking about a guy with a live fastball that throws a lot of home run pitches. He's really settled down over lately, talking about Ronaldo Lopez. But you're looking at a 10. You're looking at a hot-hitting lineup. And, again, we always like to talk about, regression comes up. Is he just going to be a really good pitcher the rest of the way, or is he going to be getting back to what he used to do, throwing fastballs out there, giving up home runs? That's a team that can tattoo it. I'm not really looking on the side of it because, again, we're talking about and again, we always get back to these late August, Septembers. One team really needs it, the other team's out of it, and what are you going to take place? But it's hard to back it up, and, I'll probably just lay low in this game. A team total-wise for Minnesota does make sense. But Lopez a little bit better this year, and we'll see if he regresses tonight. But I don't have too much of a overall strong lean on this one.
I wanted the Twins initially. What's been the market move?
Line's going up. Line's going in Minnesota's direction. Open up, 218, 230, now in 235. Some 240s even out there as well in SBR odds.
I have this love for the White Sox pitchers for the last year and a half, and they're slowly paying me back now. But Whale Capper, White Sox, Twins, Lopez, Pineda. Pineda has looked good since he's come back from the IL, and he looks in control on the mound, and he looks like a leader. He looks like the type of pitcher I don't think the Yankees should have got rid of, to be honest with you, with his mound confidence and leading with his body language. Like, I'm going to get these people. Like, I think he looks very confident. I think that So I cashed big. Both Drew and I hit plus 200. He hit plus 198. I actually bet it at plus 185. So I'm not gonna sit here and have a 2-cent better line move than you. That was line shopping on SBR odds. When I bet, I got plus 185. But we cashed big on the White Sox. We ate off the White Sox, and I don't want to go right back to the well. What do you think of this spot?
I'm gonna have to look for the Twins here. I don't know the right way to attack this though. I'm probably steering clear of. I'm probably trying to single on a strong performance from their starting pitcher and looking for first 5 run line, maybe first 5 minus a half. So Twins take a lead into the second half of this one.
Yeah, Lopez I think is capable of greatness, and I've been made fun of a lot of times talking about him. Jerry Reyes gonna hang with us this week, man. God, I'm excited about this week. I'm so excited. But it's 6:46. We only have 14. I've got to make bets also in 14 minutes, so somebody else might have to close the show because I need to put money in my pocket, and I can't do that here. Well, I sort of could move over to the side and do it. So Seth, I've got my phone here. You want to send me a pic of this?
I have 2 pictures.
Okay, dope.
With all the list.
Okay.
Just send it on your WhatsApp.
Perfect.
We have a randomizer that we're going to throw that tweet in.
We have a randomizer?
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay, so it's gonna be okay. Okay, well, tell me that in like 4 or 5 minutes because we have Rockies Diamondbacks with Freeland Young, and we have that Yankees A's game with Herman Bailey, and we have the Jays Dodgers game. And I know we don't have enough time to break down these 3 games now because we're getting to 7 o'clock very, very soon. So let me say this: why don't we go with you, Donnie? Of those 3 games, Rockies Diamondbacks, Yankees A's, Blue Jays, Dodgers. I have no moves on any of them yet. If we could sit here and break them down for 45 minutes, I would have them, but we don't have that time. And Chris Sanatate saying WNBA, we also have to get there. And Ski Profit wants a leche from Whale Capper. We've never seen. That's how we end all our shows with a leche. Los bookmakers. So get yourself ready because we're gonna have to see one from you.
Okay.
Donnie RightSide, of these 3 games, is there a spot you like? Because we had a lean to the over in Rockies Diamondbacks.
Yeah, not a real great one there, but Freeland obviously, much better on the road than he is at home, which is typical for a Colorado pitcher there. But I'll tell you an interesting game, though, is that Yankees-Oakland game a little bit later tonight with the resurgence of Homer Bailey on the mound. Yankees coming in. Herman's been decent this year. But you're looking at the line moves out here. The 134s, they open up at the 140s. Now drop back to minus 131 in that spot. Gives a little bit of credence. But we always talk about Homer Bailey, more of that fly ball pitcher. And the Yankees, moving into that realm of team launch angle, just can get out of anywhere. It's hard to bet against Oakland at home. But sometimes just looking at this Yankees line saying, look, 71% of the tickets offshore coming in on the Yankees, the line dipping a little bit lower. I disagree with the line movement there. I like the Yankees in this one.
Co-sign on that.
You co-sign on that?
Yeah, that's a good look.
Backing Herman. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's look at this Yankees lineup really quickly. And I know if I had used the Yankees better, I'd be plus units this year. I've used the Yankees poorly. Oh, let me refresh this. I doubt that it's live yet. Let me see if I can get that. Okay, we got the Oakland live lineup. But still, actually, you know what? The expected lineup of LeMahieu, Judge, Urshela, Gregorius, Sanchez. First off, if Urshela and Gregorius are your 3-4, I have and this would be my problem with the Yankees all year. I'm looking at their lineup. I'm like, well, that's not very good. Then Gardner, Maben, Tauchman, 7, 8, 9. We've watched Homer Bailey pitch in this pitcher's park, and he looks good there. Giant outfield, hard to hit home runs, and we look at him at a park, like Great American Ballpark. He gets completely lit up. I mean, it's about what you think of these Yankees moving forward. Are they savages, like their manager says, or are they just a good lineup with spare parts that have stepped up because of their character in a high-profile situation that is the Bronx and is playing for the Yankees and won't be around come playoff time because their starting pitching staff is so weak? 63 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy. I don't know. Yankees, A's. Do you think Bailey can shut this lineup down?
I think he can, and you're right. It translates well for him in this ballpark. German has shown flashes of being a lot better pitcher of recent, and at this price point of what, minus 130-ish right now, it's interesting to see the Yankees down this low. We see them mostly around the 200 price tag, so it does kind of point you towards betting on the Yankees. It's just out there in Oakland. Bailey's translation with this ballpark, I think that he can have success. So it's enough to keep me off of it, but I'm with you guys. I mean, looking at the line, it does kind of almost scream at you, Yankees at this low price.
Are you guys making a move on the Yankees? I know we'll be able to talk about this after the show because we're gonna shut this bad boy down, put a bow on this because I got to make some bets, and then we got to go take on the boardwalk and slap ass. So Yankees, A's. I'm gonna need to talk about this game more. We have right here. Ricky Bobby says Toronto switch pitchers. Really? Because I still have Reed Foley. So we haven't got Donnie, what's your quick look on Rockies, Diamondbacks over Freeland, Young? Because Pink Eye Genie, Whale Capper, we have a capper named Pink Eye Genie. He's our Arizona Diamondbacks expert. He also spreads pink eye awareness.
Yes.
And
very important.
It could happen this week. This week there's a lot of pink eye danger. Snakes will roll today, triple up.
Oh.
He says Young saw Rockies in the same spot in his first start, 6 shutout innings.
We got a roll call.
Donnie, Rockies, Diamondbacks.
It's one of those hard things to do because you're usually a buyer when the Rockies are at home. But I haven't checked out the latest in the last week and a half, but it's been that way for the whole season. Great hitting team at home, horrific on the road. I agree with them on the Diamondbacks.
Ooh.
True.
Yeah, I'm not looking to bet the Rockies in the near future at all. I know that they performed well against the Marlins, but outside of that, I think it's a team, just kind of looking forward to next year. So it'd be Diamondbacks or pass for me.
Well, let's not get late. 'Cause one thing that happens when you break down a full card over 2 days is you get lazy on the very late games. And I don't want the late games to not put money in my pocket. So what's the move? Do we take the Diamondbacks at -1? That was a very easy eat with Gallen yesterday. Is it one here? Guru says Young is much more of a bum than I thought watching him last game. I don't trust Alex Young. I was surprised that Pink Eye Genie, but he is our Diamondbacks expert, so I trust him. But I was surprised that he was backing Young in this situation against Freeland, who looks terrible. Let's quickly look at this total here, full game total.
I mean, when you talk about just like making it simple, they smash left-handed pitching, the
Smash 'em.
Diamondbacks.
And it's like the Yankees lineup. When you look at it, you're like, who, these guys?
Yes, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. Because when you're taking a look at some of the ISOs, over 300. There's only one technically negative batter against lefties, and that's out of the 2-hole David Peralta, who is a lefty and the only lefty in the lineup. He's going to get feasted on by 7 of the 8 batters are going to come from that right-hand side. I can't trust Freeland in this spot.
And what, Colorado's 24-39 on the road?
Yeah.
They just don't hit on the road.
You know what? I don't want, because this is something that happens to me. I get lazy with the late card because we're about to go drink on the boardwalk, and I'm not going to let that happen here. I think that the Twins are probably very live tonight. And you'd have to take them on the -1 line. I'm a huge Ronaldo Lopez fan, but Pineda is a leader. He's a leader, and the Twins just lost yesterday. So I can't make official plays right now because the game's starting in 6 minutes, and I got to make bets on the earlier games. But I'm going to take the Twins on the -1 line. I'm also going to take the Diamondbacks on the -1 line, and I'm also going to take the full game over in the Rockies-Diamondbacks game. I'll just tweet those out and legitimize them. I can't do that right now because we have to award an NFL Game Pass before it becomes 7, and I got to go make bets fast, so I'm going to do this as quick as possible. But and you got your lecture ready?
Ready.
Okay. These are the people who are in. Now we have a what is it called again? It's what's the thing called that we're random?
Optimizer, randomizer.
Larry, could you take over, Larry? Take over.
Randomizer.
Tell
Do we
us
have
about the
guys?
randomizer. I've got the line. I've got the guys. Let me first say all the guys that have signed up and are in the contest. We got the fight analyst, my guy, the fight analyst, Mr. Fat Fist, Big Ragu. We got Teddy B, Wagers Kyle. Oh man, that's my guy Kyle. Jack Paco Healy, Coco Picks. That's Coco Bongo. We got Cranky Ricky. We got Ray Rax Tips, Walla Walla Dose, Mark with a bunch of numbers. The guy sounds shady. Big Guy Bubba. Kenna Down, Capper 72. Oh, that's Canadian Capper. It's my guy out of Windsor, Ontario. Clive the Cap. We got 97 Oilers. Then we got Trotwam, Nutflush Allen, Flipper 13, Twan 9, Donkey. Oh, that's Nate with his so-called Donkey Conk. Conk? Did I say conk? I'm drunk. Bass Pro 51, Guanazak. Cap and Easy Money. We got Cap and we got MJ9, Ghost Clown Picks, Fail to Life, D Tucker 89, Mayor Ant. Oh, that's he's gonna roll in here tomorrow, man. I can't wait to roll with him. Paulo Monic, Jojo Ramirez, and Justin NC. And those are the people. This is a live draw right now. Larry, take it away.
Right now. Oh my God.
Someone's gonna get to watch NFL Red Zone without pirating it all season.
No
This
pirating.
Is so great.
Yeah.
And the winner is
Who gets it?
Ghost Clown Picks.
Ghost Clown Picks. This guy sounds dangerous.
Dude,
This
that's
guy
spooky.
sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
Ghost Clown Picks. We're gonna do a draw every day. The whole football, the whole Game Pass for free. And as you said it really nicely there with the
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing we have to do quickly, and we went 3-1 yesterday. We're gonna start from Donnie, and we're gonna come down, and we should have probably been preparing for this, but we haven't been, and we have to do this in less than 3 minutes. Donnie RightSide, we're gonna give a play of the day. We went 3-1 yesterday, plus 2.7 units. What's our best play on this card? And I'm sorry we didn't get to WNBA. I'm sorry, and it's not. I don't know how to positively spin this without being negative about the sport. I wish we had more time because we would have hammered WNBA. I want to hammer, but we break down these games and we take a lot of time and we find angles, and I'm about to hammer the Twins and the Diamondbacks, and that took time. Donnie RightSide, your play of the day.
Yeah, real quick, I was told by the higher-ups, if this play doesn't hit since I lost yesterday, tomorrow shows I have to stand, and after that, I get bussed home. So pressure's on for me right now. I need this play to happen. I think it will tonight, and we're going to go with those Atlanta Braves. Team total over 5.5, -116. Give me 6 tonight. Let me sleep, please.
Oh, shit, I need more time. Drew, can you take it away? I got to look at this.
We got the team formerly known as the Florida Marlins, now going by the Miami Marlins. Brian Anderson, Garrett Cooper are confirmed in the 3 and 4 spots. Over
Anderson
1,000 OPS versus the finesse-type pitchers, and they took it to Keuchel last time out, 8 earned runs in 3.1 innings. I like the Miami Marlins plus 242. Book it.
Wow. Can you take over? I'm going to need a little bit more time.
I like that look. I'm not gonna coattail you there, but I'm gonna go.
can if you want.
I'm gonna go. I like it. I'm gonna be on it. I think. But in addition to that, I'm gonna look for Turnbull under 4 strikeouts -120.
Oh shit! I look forward to following that tonight.
It's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a fun one.
it's gonna
He's
be a
got
fun one.
2.
Okay, I'm surprised at
It's
this.
tight.
I'm surprised at what I'm about to say because it wasn't a play on the morning show that we did.
Okay.
But my play of the day, is a nice plus line on the Cardinals -1. Walker at home. Cardinals about to win their 6th straight over this fucking sad sack Brewer squad that won't be around the playoffs. That had so much talent and didn't follow through. If that's Craig Counsell's fault, I don't know. But Yelich is the only one hitting. Very easy to pitch around one guy. And Waka is a vet. I know we see the 5.44 ERA, 1.63 whip, but he looked better. I know he only went 5 innings, but he looked better. He's at home. Your call about all the road situations he's been in the last little bit gave me a lot of confidence on this thing. And now looking at everything I've got, it's my favorite spot on the card, and I'm taking the Cardinals on the -1 line. I'm getting a money line of -104, a run line of +178.
Ew.
So we're
Waka,
getting a
waka,
fucking-
waka.
We're getting some plus stuff. You guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm so thankful to have all of these guys in the chat that we've become such close friends with. Many of them flying into Miami to party with us. To get to sit here on this panel with Donnie RightSide and Drew Martin and Whale Capper, I'm very appreciative. I feel very thankful. And my life, and now I know the booze is talking a little bit, but my life has improved so much in the last 2 years. Just having all of this in my life, it just means so much to me. Can we all say one thing before we bang this out, Donnie RightSide?
Yeah, looking forward to tonight. You know, more fun to come. Room's going to fill up, more people coming down, and Jimmy says it all the time. He's a great leader here. He's a great guy for the flagship here at sportsbookreview.com. As you see the increase in the chat box, this guy puts in a lot of work out there, and you see the people that come and hang out with him. He appreciates it. Honest to goodness, he does. And everybody here at SBR, from the guys on the camera, off the camera, we wouldn't be in Miami if they weren't there, right? I mean, it's just the way it is. We'll look forward to it. We'll continue to have a lot of fun this week, a lot more fun stuff in store. And let's win some money on top of it.
Drew wouldn't be able to take his 1 a.m. Swim in the ocean and the red lights in the pool all alone there.
No, I wouldn't. I did have a bathing suit on, though. I might
Oh,
add that.
I wasn't imagining you naked.
Well,
man.
you used the red light term. I wasn't
Well, there
exactly.
were red lights out there, man.
There was, and I'll second what Donnie said about Jimmy putting in the hard work. Also, shout out to Larry, Freddie,
The crew,
and Cammy,
Diego, Cammy, Sophie.
Diego, everybody, Seth
Seth.
too. Yeah, they're all killing it behind the camera as well. So shout out to them as well.
Yeah, for sure. I need you to put a bow on this motherfucker.
Hey guys, great news! Not only is this an outstanding week of content and getting together with some of the best parts of the SBR family, but we are one day closer to baseball season being over. I mean, like right around the corner, football season. I can smell it. It's so freaking close. We don't have to think about baseball anymore. The long national nightmare is almost over. With that, let's have a great night.
No, I need you to fucking leche this motherfucker.
Okay. Let's say this.
No. You need
No,
more.
it's
Take
gotta
the
be
mic out of
vague.
his hand. Give me a fucking leche. Look right in the camera and give you a fucking leche. Say whatever you want after it.
Leche Los Bookmakers.
No, more. Better. Give me more. I want more.
Leche Los Bookmakers.
Ah, fuck yeah. Yes.
What does leche mean?
What up, cappers? Gamblers.
You gotta make bets. Oh, that was fun. We need a clip of that build up of.
Oh, that was a good one.
was so
Yeah,
good.
yeah, right there.
It was so
Oh
good.
no, just finished. It was good, man.
All right, good deal.
Oh, did we not get it? Did it clip off in Miami before?
No, he got it.
Okay, so it's 7:02 right now. And what bets am I gonna miss? I gotta get them in 3 minutes.
Hey, I'm gonna try to get on another call here and get a little more work done.
For sure.
Let me know what you guys are doing.
For sure. So is it possible? Drew, that in